What's up, guys? It's your boy Justin. Welcome to Halloween month 2022. Today I'm reviewing King Spawn Volume 1, written by Sean Lewis with art by Javi Fernandez. And Todd McFarlane had something to do with it. Yeah, this I think this trade came out last year or this year. It goes for $10 US. I think it's like $11 Canadian, right? Which is a good price, considering this collects the first 6 issues, right, of King Spawn, and bonus stories featuring Gunslinger, Haunt, the hero, whoever that is, Nightmare, some villain, and you got Redeemer. Right, so you got bonus stories. So is the book is about, like, Spawn is running a team of hell spawns, um, right? And you on the team you have Medieval Spawn, and you have Jessica Priest, she Spawn, who was one of the bad guys of the Spawn movie, who was like basically a gender swapped, race swapped version of Chapel. Right? I guess they couldn't get what's his name, Rob Liefeld's permission for the movie, because I think Rob Liefeld owns, like, partially owns that character, or maybe fully owns it. I don't know, right? Um, but yeah, so he runs a team with She Spawn, Medieval Spawn, and Mark, who was like the guy who was helping Jim Downings back when he was a Spawn. I have no idea what happened to him. I only read the first volume of that series. Yeah. So I will say this: if you're reading the Origins collections, like I am, maybe not a good idea to read this series because they spoil a lot, which I kind of knew how Spawn ended, but I didn't know the specifics. I didn't know this character's dead, that character's dead, like, so it's like, oh man, I got spoiled on a lot of things. So what's going on is there's this cult called or Psalms 137 that's going around killing kids, right? And, like, they worship Spawn, and Spawn is out to stop them with she's Spawn, Medieval Spawn, and even Terry Fitzgerald, right? Subplots going on is, like, spoilers for the original Spawn series. Spawn kicked the devil and God's ass and closed all the portals to heaven and earth. So you have a bunch. So you have, like, both forces of like heaven and hell are, like, on earth, like, stuck, and they're pissed off at Spawn, right? But Spawn has, like, basically, like, godlike powers, right, on Earth for some reason. This is the only page that Sam and Twitch is in this book, right? Which kind of annoyed me. Yeah, so, like, it turns out the person running the cult is Billy Kincaid, and when Spawn meets Billy Kincaid, they act like this is the first time they've met since he killed them, which is weird because I was reading the Origins collections, and, like, first volume of Spawn, he kills Billy. Second volume of Spawn, Billy is in hell being recruited and trained to be a Hellspawn. So you're telling me in 30 years that they haven't had any other, like, confrontations until now? Somebody must have messed up, please. Why did they have Alan Moore set up that Billy was going to be a Hellspawn if they didn't do anything with it? So they do, like, a retelling of, like, Billy's origin story, right? They also retconned some stuff. By the way, this is Spawn outside, like out of his costume, so he's no longer a burn victim, and he's no longer turns into a white man, because he could, because he was a burn victim, right? But then he had the magical power to make himself look human, but he would turn into a white guy. I guess he gained the power to turn back into himself, right? Also, this was kind of gross. Some of the terrorists are teenagers, and there's like a scene where they're doing it at the guy's grandma's house. They don't say how old the kids are, but like I thought that was creepy, man. I'm assuming they're 18 if they're showing that, which they don't show nudity, but still, man, that's kind of gross. Yeah. Also, they brought back the talking heads, but the middle talking head is not so, because he was basically gay in the original series, and he's no longer as flamboyant, which is whatever. And they made this guy more like Alex Jones, right? Also, they make political references to stuff that happened in the last few years, just so people know, right? But yeah, yeah. So basically, the twist is basically somebody brought back a bunch of Spawn's enemies and brought them back, give them superpowers. Here's Medieval's costume. I don't like this costume. And here's Billy Kincaid, right? And like they brought back Billy Kincaid, they brought back Jason Wynn, and somebody wants to make Spawn king, but all he has to do is to open up the whole, like the portals to heaven and earth, right? And Spawn refuses to do that. Here's Jessica Priest's she's Spawn, right? I'll show you a pic what's Jason Wynn looks like now. So there's a fight scene between Jason Wynn and Spawn. There he is. So I don't want to spoil the whole book, but yeah. So what did I think about the book? I thought, well, Spawn as always is a little too overpowered. But the fight scene between him and Jason Wynn, which is called Disruptor or something, I don't know, I think. And that was good. The action, I guess overall the action was good. Some of the character designs were kind of bad. Overall, I wasn't a huge fan of the art, but the art was decent. The story, I guess the story is good. The story is decent. I don't know, man. I just like I don't know. Some of the stuff in the book was not a fan of, like the showing the teenagers banging at grandma's house, right? That was, you could have just implied it. You didn't have to show it, right? That was gross. But yeah, it's it's a decent read. But yeah, there's like a lot of spoilers here, and Spawn comes off like a real asshole in this book, which was the problem he had in the original series. I guess he didn't learn his lesson, and it's like, dude, like they couldn't. He comes off really unlikable, and it's like, wow, these people are working with him. I don't know. I guess Spawn. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, by the way, there's some religious stuff in the Spawn series overall. Spawn himself was an atheist, right? So no wonder. Oh, how does he settle the demon war, the eternal war between heaven and hell? Close all the portals. Everybody's stuck here on Earth. Oh my god! But that's an old story. So I don't know. It's a thing where the book is cheap and it's a decent action story, right? So I'm giving it 6.5 out of 10. It was good. It was a decent read, I don't know. It's the thing where I want to say, oh, I'm interested in reading more, but not really, because like I'm currently reading the Origins collections, right? So I kind of, and then they spoil stuff. So I just wanna, maybe I'll finish reading the Origin collection books first, and then maybe I come back. I don't know, but I kind of want to check out Gunslinger. That looks Gunslinger Spawn. That looks interesting. Though I'm not a fan of the hat. Like the hat looks kind of dumb. And the character comes off as kind of like the character, looks a bit too much. Doesn't this character remind people of that Xbox game? Well, it was like on the PS2 too, called Dark Watch. Kind of reminds me of Dark Watch. Check that. Check out. Look up videos of Dark Watch if you don't know what that is. Which I have the game, but yeah. So I don't know. 6.5 out of 10. Decent read. So our next review for Halloween month 2022 is Uncanny X-Force: The Apocalypse Solution, which has there's a scene in this book that people to this day still talk about because of how messed up it was, right? Which includes Deadpool and Archangel. So look forward to that, right? By the way, look at the bad guys. The new Horsemen of Apocalypse. And if you're a Rick Remender fan, if you're a Deadpool fan, check this out. Way better than the Kyle Yost and Chris Kyle. That was his name. I can't remember. But Craig Kyle and Chris Yost? Way better. This was way better than their run. Hence why we're reviewing this instead of their run. Right? Well, that's not as Halloween.